Hello everyone. So I recently built this job notifier bot which sends you notifications about the accurate preferences that you have for a particular job that you want to apply. So let's just quickly talk about the the hook that made me curious to build this project. So what was the hook, right? What was the hook? The hook was there is a current problem with the current job portals that we have, and what that problem is. Suppose you have any job portal, then you have to manually do a lot of effort to get to a particular kind of preferences of jobs that you want to apply to. For example, uh, you might have a certain set of jobs that you want to apply to, that has a kind of criteria, like this is a pool of job, this will be a pool of job that I want to apply to, and this is the kind of jobs that these platforms have, and you need to manually go and filter out a specific kind of job. Suppose if you want to apply to a certain type of job, if you're a software developer, and if you want to apply to only front-end related jobs, to only MN related jobs or DevOps related jobs, then you have to manually search through keywords, through a lot of job preferences, that these are the jobs that I want to apply to. There are very dirty type of filters and job preferences that these platforms filter for you. Sometimes you get a job for the same type of skills that you want to apply, but that jobs have minimum requirement of the amount of years, the amount of experience that you don't have. Then going through the JD, going through the job description, you realize that, oh, that's the kind of job that I want to apply to, but probably the requirements are not what I am being capable of. So I wanted to simplify it. I wanted to make a very simple bot, a very simple application that basically filters out the jobs on entire internet, and based on your particular preferences, it scores those jobs, that okay, this is a particular job that is relevant for the current user. Let's just send a notification to the user that this is a particular job that you can apply to. So that's what the problem statement was, and that's what I tried to solve with my project. Now, let's just quickly talk about the architecture, like how I tried to like build this. So there are the thing is, I used only Node.js and Express and a Gemini SDK, a database, PostgreSQL, Prisma for the ORM queries, and along with it some external APIs to build this project. How and like how I integrated each of them, I will talk about all of these things in detail. So let's just talk about it. So if you just look at it, the application is being purely made in Node and Express. So how I approach the problem statement, let's just talk about it. So on a very high level, the main module, so the application, first of all, this is the entire application. The entire application is first of all being divided into a lot of modules. Not a lot of modules, but some modules. Now these modules basically act as a feature for my application. So each module represents a particular feature for my application. The architecture that I'm being following in this project is a feature based architecture, or you can also say it is a modular based architecture that I'm being following. What is the main module of the application? The main module of the application is preferences. So the very first thing which happens is your preferences. How your preferences are being tracked, like whatever preferences you have for a particular job, based on that jobs will be fetched, based on that jobs will be filtered, and based on that jobs notification will be sent to you. So the very core module of this application is preferences that I am being following. So the core module that I've been the core module of the application is preferences. The preferences module has routes, controllers, services to basically manage all the kind of application logic. This module is particularly related to my matcher module. So what is a matcher module? I'll talk about it. So this module is connected. This module is connected to a matcher module. Now, what is this matcher module? This matcher module is basically match each specific job according to your preference. Suppose the preferences are stored as minimum salary, the roles that I want to apply to, the locations that I would prefer to go to or to relocate. These are my preferences. Based on these preferences, the matcher module will match the jobs that are being fed. Like now, from where the jobs will come to fetch jobs, to retrieve and to provide jobs to the matcher modules. These things will be handled by the the job fetcher module. Now the job fetcher module that I used in my application. So if I just go through the code base, you can see the modules. So there are these modules. So there is a matcher module, there is preferences module, and there is a scrapers module. These scrapers modules is a job fetcher. Like this will scrap the internet, and from the internet it will fetch the jobs, all the jobs that are related to a particular subset of queries that I have. For example, suppose so there is a certain problem here. Problem is, in order to fetch jobs from internet, what are the sources that I have? So I can simply use the APIs of for example, I can use the APIs of LinkedIn, Indeed, Naukri, and these platforms to fetch jobs from these platforms, then filter out based on my preferences. But it is a overkill. Why it is a overkill? It is overkill because first I'll have to keep separate logic, separate APIs for fetching jobs from these platforms, because these platforms are very different from each other. The whole architecture, the whole APIs, everything is different. I have to keep separate APIs for each platform. And suppose in future, if I want to add another platform, I have to again create the same route, the same kind of controllers, etc for it. So how I try to solve this problem, that there should be a single source of truth from which I should get all the jobs that are present for a particular time frame. So that problem I solved by this platform. This is a very good platform. This is known as Rapid API platform. Also, you can say JSearch API platform. Now it has some tiers of plans that you can go through. I've used this basic plan which has like literally no cost. You can use it for free, and it provides you like 1500 requests per day. You can use it, and this platform basically gives you APIs to fetch jobs based on certain preferences. So if you go to their API system, you can see the way these APIs work. You can see the params. I can provide all kind of params. the number of pages, the location, the country that I want, from where I want to fetch jobs to. Then these are the params that I have. Now, if I have this API from this job fetcher module, basically is being handled by this repeat/jsearch API. Now the question is, if this API provides you every kind of filters to get job from the preferences, then why you need this matcher module? The answer is, this particular third party API is basically provides you query params to filter out certain kind of jobs. Now query params are not that much efficient or not that much like filter driven when you want to apply filters to a very good extent. You have query params, and here you get limited set of query params. So suppose if you only want jobs from India, from US, that is all you want, you can use these APIs. It works well. You don't need a matcher module at all. But to filter out jobs on a very particular preferenced way, you have to use a matcher module, because you cannot filter everything from an API. There has to be another module, there has to be another application side logic that does that thing for you. So that's why this rapid/jsearch API has this kind of bottleneck. Now this bottleneck is being solved from the matcher module. Now the thing is, you get all the jobs from this rapid API by job fetcher. Now that job fetcher module will provide these jobs to matcher module. Now the matcher module will have the matcher module has my preferences. It has all the jobs. It will match each job with my preference, and after that at the final step, it will call my notifier module. What is this notifier module? Let's just talk about it. This notifier module is basically a simple module which sends me notifications that this is a particular job that has matched your preferences, please apply. Now what is under the hood in this notifier module? Let's just talk about it. There are a lot of ways by which these notifier module can be configured. So I can use WhatsApp, I can use SMS, I can use emails, I can use Telegram. I try to use WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is the very easy way to integrate WhatsApp, that you can use Twilio, you can use services of Twilio, but it is paid service. So after a certain time, like from 7 to 8 days, it has a particular tier, you have to pay to use their services. And I wanted to make it with zero cost, like no cost involved. I wanted to make it completely free. So I did a bit of research, and then I found out that Telegram has great set of APIs which are free, and you can use Telegram bots. Telegram bots configuration are free of cost. You can create numerous amount of bots, and it's completely free. This is the documentation that I followed, and this provides a lot of APIs to go through. So the main API that they have is this send message. This API. This API basically requires a particular token ID. That token ID is provided to you when you configure your Telegram bot from the Telegram application itself. That Telegram ID along with your chat ID that you get is used to send a message to your particular inbox on Telegram. So this is what notifier modules is all about. And once you have configured all of these, that's how you can code this on application level. Now this is the part of how I approach to the solution of this particular problem set. But there are some more things that I want to talk about. Now, if you have preferences, if you look at this architecture, The preferences is the most important thing here, because based on preferences everything will happen. Preferences has to be stored. To store, I have to use a database. I've used PostgreSQL. You can also use NoSQL databases. It's completely fine. It's my I was learning, so I tried to go with PostgreSQL. Now, why PostgreSQL? I'll talk about it. I wanted to try out Prisma, because the thing is, if you if you have ever gone through Prisma, Prisma is a great ORM. I just love Prisma. So why Prisma is the reason behind this is, so let's just talk about why Prisma. So I use Prisma. I use Prisma as a ORM layer to my NoSQL database. So if I have a if this is my DB, Prisma basically acts as an ORM here. There is a very specific reason why I've used Prisma. Now the thing is, whenever you use TypeScript, so Prisma basically provides you some generated types. So when you write your schema, suppose you have particular schema.ts file. Basically, you write the way you write schema in Prisma is there is a particular Prisma.schema file in which you write schema. If you go to this repository, you can see here you write your schema. Now why? Okay, so now why I use Prisma here is because if you have ever gone through Prisma documentation, you know that Prisma provides you generated types automatically, all configured based upon your schema. That thing is not present in any other ORM that you use with JS ecosystem or TypeScript ecosystem. The thing is, suppose here I have types for my preferences table that I have and my scene job table that I have. Now, why I have a scene job table? The reason why I have a scene job table is, suppose if I get a notification for a particular job and that job is previously being fetched, like if I get a notification, if I get jobs for particular day, there is a certain kind of job which gets appended to in another day's result. So I should have a track of what are the jobs that I have seen. I don't want to see them again. If what are the jobs that I have applied, I don't want to apply to the same job again. So that's why I'm keeping this particular scene job table. It's very simple. It just has an ID of particular job and the source from it's coming in. The main point is, if you look at this Prisma schema, it generates the type for your schema for ID, role, skills, location, and everything. And you don't have to manually write types for your schema. And that's a perfect thing, because in TypeScript, when we write our schema, we basically provide, we basically waste, not waste, we basically, it gets very hectic when we manually write type for our schema again and again, and that type sometimes doesn't get synced with the database that we have, and we then it takes a lot of time to debug little bit stuff and all that stuff. So the very first thing which I liked about Prisma is it provides you type safe types generated automatically, and you don't have to worry about types. If you manually, when you're writing the code, when you try to insert a particular value in your database that is not matching the types you have, it provides you a runtime error that it is not a relevant type that it expects. That's why I've gone with Prisma, and it is great tool. It provides you lot of functionalities, and it's a very good tool to check it out. So it I would highly recommend to just first try Prisma and just create little, like, try to make projects with it. It's a great tool. And that's how I configured my ORM with my PostgreSQL database. Now, PostgreSQL database I used because I wanted two single tables, preferences and scene job. I could have also like chose NoSQL MongoDB, but that's a personal choice or learning factor comes into the picture. That's why I went with PostgreSQL. And then after that, I want to talk about how I try to configure my database as well. So for production, for the deployment purposes, I use this Neon DB. If you just check it out, it is also a very good tool. This Neon DB provides you no setup PostgreSQL database ready to go to production, and you can just simply just create your account, have a database ready, and just query from local or production environment. It works perfectly well, and it has a lot of application level tiers, or also it has a lot of security constants as well. So it's a great tool to check it out. That's what I used for my job notifier. You can see, and very good tool to use. Then this is how I configured. This is how I created everything. For deployment, I used Railway because AWS and Cloudflare are serverless. So, and I wanted a cron job to like to run constantly, and I didn't want it to like it's a very simple application. So to just it just sends you notifications. So I just wanted to overkill with the deployment to deploy it on AWS. I just wanted a simple deployment, just ready to go. So I went with Railway. It works well with any kind of development provider if you want to deploy. If you can deploy it anywhere, but I went with Railway. That's another personal choice, not a technical constant. Technical constants were with Prisma, and then it were with the Matcher API. For Matcher API, I used Gemini SDK, simple, free APIs, nothing, zero cost, and that's how I created it. So, if I just show you a quick demo, at the way I have configured it is uh, at every time period UTC like 9:35, 9:30, it sends me notifications about jobs that are relevant to me. So you can check like here, you can see. So yeah, it's working perfectly well, and if you can also try it out, check the how, and love to hear about from all of you guys that about what you can suggest some more things about to add into this project. That's all from my side, and that's all I want to talk about. That I from past some days I was working on this project, and I thought that's a good thing to share it in community and have some feedbacks. Thank you.